Hello viewers. Isn't it one of the best days to have a finance crash course? If you're planning to run a business, then this video will boost you. Because we are going to know an important business number today. So you better will know your business numbers if you want to win. The thing is, most people get distracted and don't know what numbers they should be keeping an eye on. So we made a list for you. Here are the best 10 important numbers in business. Number 1, profit. Profit is the simplest measure of how well you are performing. It's the fundamental number you should always have in the back of your mind. It's frequently known as profit determines the best number to determine how well you are performing. In accounting, there's something called profit and loss as the simplest way to bring everything together. It allows you to figure out if you're making money or losing money. As a new business owner, profit is also the technical number you will be taxed on. As long as you understand how much profit you're theoretically making, you have a clear understanding of how much more you can invest, thus increasing expenses. In order to grow the business and pay as little tax as it is legally required. This is why Amazon pays very little tax despite bringing in so much money. Number 2, revenue and sales. Fundamental business rule: revenue, sales or income, relate to the money the company is able to bring in. You should be able to tell quickly just how much money you're able to take out of the marketplace at any given time. Revenue is what's known as the top line, all the money coming in no matter how. Sales is the money coming in from the sale of products and services. If you are able to generate profitable sales, everything else falls in line. Most businesses get caught up in all this financial mumbo-jumbo, but the most important part of the business equation is: it doesn't matter how good your business plan is, if you're unable to sell, any business will fail. Most people confuse expenses with the cost of goods. They think expenses are only how much money it costs directly to put together the product or service. Number 3, total expenses. Total expenses bring in a lot more costs than what goes into what the customer is getting. Every dollar coming out of the company pocket is an expense and it should be tracked. People who are always quick to judge Apple for their expensive flagship phones lack an understanding of costs. Why would a company charge $1,500 for a device that, if broken apart part by part, the sum adds up to only $490.50? It's because you don't understand how costs work. This applies to every company out there that sells a product. We're just using Apple as an example. The company spends billions of dollars in research and development, spending a lot of money most of the time without a return, in the hopes of having a technological breakthrough. The same company is paying a ton of money to some of the best designers in the world, twerking everything about the device in order to have the best shape, functionality and feel the way it does when you use it. Number 4, EBITDA. For some of you, this might be the first time you're hearing about EBITDA. It's used to establish a company's profitability relative to companies with similar business models. We don't want to make this video be too technical, but if you want to be in business, you need to get used to speaking the language of money. In order to determine the value of a company, you basically calculate the EBITDA x what is called an industry multiplier. This is why as a media company is valued in the ballpark of $5 million right now. It also helps us know how to focus our efforts and increase the value of the company. It's a simple way to compare to companies and see who's doing better. Number 5, cash flow. Cash flow is an incredibly valuable metric to know no matter the business you're in. Cash flow is basically just how much money you've left with on a month-to-month basis once you subtract expenses from the money coming in. Both as an entrepreneur or real estate investor, cash flow is your go-to number to analyze if you're making money or not. You own a house that rents out for $3,000 a month. So what are your expenses? You might not need to do repairs every month, but every couple of years things break and need to be fixed. You need to pay it just to be safe. You're paying someone to manage the property, so you don't get the calls. But, if you want, you can always do it yourself. Number 6, price. Pricing correctly can make the difference between making a fortune and going under. It doesn't matter if you're cutting hair, selling art, financial services or bottles of water in the desert. You need to understand the laws of supply and demand. Your job is to determine how much your product or service is worth to the market. People vote every day with their wallets. If they're not paying what you're asking, you're either overpriced or you're not talking to the right people. This is how much you're making with each product sold. In the case of flipping houses, if you buy a tomato for $1 and sell it for 1.50, then your gross margin is 50 cents. Number 7. Gross margins. You should know your gross margins, because it allows you to figure out how quickly you can multiply your money. The higher the margin, the more quickly a business grows. When calculating it, you deduct from the amount you're getting from your clients all the direct costs associated with the product. If you're selling tomatoes out of the back of your car, the price of the car isn't a direct cost. But the bulk tomatoes as well as the reusable hemp bag you're selling them in, are. Number 8. Total inventory and total assets. Total inventory means how many pieces of products you have waiting to be sold in your storage or warehouse. If you're selling dresses at $200 a piece and you've got 100 dresses in storage, that means you have $20,000 worth of inventory. Total assets takes it beyond inventory. In this case, total assets groups together everything that has value and could be liquidated if it came to it. The car, the dresses, the cash, the laptop, everything. To keep up with the Apple example we gave earlier. Apple total assets for the quarter ending March 31, 2020 were $320 billion. Out of this amount, almost $100 billion is in cash on hand. Number 9. Price for 1 hour of your time. If you were to work for the next 5 hours continuously at 100% performance, how much money could you make for your company? You'd think that that's your value per hour. But you'd be wrong. You see, we don't always perform at 100%, so you have to factor in your laziness. How many hours did you work last year? Do the math, we'll wait. On average, do you work 8 hours in a business day? More? Less? On average, there are 260 working days in a year. Multiply 260 times your daily hours number and that's how many hours you worked last year. Divide the money you brought home last year by the total number of hours and you've got your real hourly rate. This is your value to the marketplace. If you want to get rich, you need to increase this number. This is a big one, isn't it? Let's do this. Number 10. ROI and ROT. Return of investment means how much money you got back from an investment made in percentages. Let's say you own an online store with our friends at Shopify. You decide to invest $1,000 into marketing, buying Facebook ads. The ads go live, you spend all your advertising dollars and manage to sell 15 necklaces at $100 a piece. You made $500, meaning a 50% return on your investment. Congratulations, you should write a book on how to make money using Facebook ads like everyone else these days. Return on time is very similar. The difference is, instead of dollars spent, you're factoring in the number of hours you've put in. We bundled these three up because they're connected. These are people who you believe would buy your product or service. But you're not 100% correct. Hello viewers. Are enjoying this video? Are you currently building or running a business? How many business numbers you already experiences? Well, let us know and we'll be hanging out with you in the comments. If you want to make sure you're not missing any of the daily value we provide, make sure to subscribe and follow us on social media. You can never have too much motivation in your life we handpicked. Don't forget to share this video with your friends. We uploading amazing facts, news, business ideas and travel video on a daily basis. Thank you.